guest tonight is well known as... You can keep the dog quiet, please. Our final guest tonight is well known as a giant of the cinema, and not just because he's been 6'4" since the age of 12. His performances in films such as Clute, MASH, Don't Look Now, and more recently Revolution have brought him a long way since his days as Canada's youngest DJ. Will you please welcome our very special guest tonight, Mr. Donald Sutherland. That's almost as much applause as Martin Stevenson got there. That was phenomenal. Now, Donald, you're over to appear at the National Film Theatre in a Guardian lecture, which I think is Tuesday night.
Yes.
And I was struck there. They're showing a season of your films, and I was struck by the variety of performances that you've given and the films you've been in. And I wondered whether you have any personal favourite out of all your films.
No, I actually don't go see many of them.
You don't go and see? You wouldn't go and see your films at all, or?
No, I advise everyone else to, but it's not something that I do because it's hard. You know, when you work in it and you work for the director and it's his piece of work and you have an idea about it, sometimes it changes so much that it hurts your feelings.
And you said that it's the director's piece of work, so how would you choose a movie? Is the director the most important thing in your decision?
He's really the only thing, yeah, sure.
So it's not a script or a location or a particular idea for a book that you've liked, it really is just the director?
No, it's the director.
And you've worked with an amazing variety of directors. You've worked with, to name just a few, you've worked with Bertolucci, you've worked with Nick Roeg, Fellini. Do you have any particular director that was a favourite to work with?
No.
All of them? I'm going
no, it's hard. It's hard. No, it's hard. Let me explain. No, it's like each one is like an individual love affair. And nobody really has favourite lovers. When you love them, you love them. And when it's over, it's over. And I've just been lucky. I've had 61 terrific ones.
Maybe I should try and be an actor, you know. That's 60 more than I've had. So then, on working on a film, are you the kind of actor that might come to it with a strong idea about how the part should be played, how the film should take shape? Or
No. I have a strong idea of how the part should be played or what the character is, not so much how he should be played. But that's really the idea that the director has given me, and then I try and fulfill whatever he wants.
So you'll obey the director almost completely?
Yeah, completely. I mean, I give him a terrible fight, but in the end I obey. Sure.
And was it always this way, ever since you first started acting, or have you changed, mellowed with age?
No, it wasn't a question. It was more a question of Nick Roeg. He asked me to do a picture called Don't Look Now with Julie Christie. And I said, look, it's about extrasensory perception, and it's about spiritualism, and it's about all these things, and I don't think we should use them as a device for horror. I think we should have the guy live at the end. I think people should be informed and profit from the experience. And he said, do you want to make the picture or not? and I said, what do you mean? He said, well, the picture I sent you, the script I sent you is the picture I'm going to make. Do you want to make it? And I said, yes, sir. And it's been kind of like that ever since.
Now, I've seen some articles with you going back to the 70s in which you've expressed an interest in directing yourself, which I don't think you've ever done yet, have you?
No, that was in the 70s, and I wouldn't want to direct. I want to work as an actor. I like it.
So what's changed?
We work together.
We have worked. I'm glad you raised this, Don, because you made a film a few years ago, The Eye of the Needle. I'm a bit surprised you recognised it, and there was a scene at the beginning where there must have been 400 or 500 extras, I think. That was right.
Yes, but your hair was longer.
It was longer, and I seem to remember I had a kind of different outlook on life then as well. But
yeah.
I think we made a good piece of art there. The film...
Your work was exceptional. You got on this plane. It was really delightful.
I think many critics said I actually stole the film from you, and I hope you don't mind me raising this now.
But a lot of them had suggested they had wondered why I didn't use the knife on you first. Curiously enough, we were talking about it earlier because he said, did I know? And I met Sylvester Stallone just after Rocky because we're represented by the same person. And he said, you don't remember me? And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, we worked together. I was an extra in Clute. And I went, okay. And then about 3 years later, 4 years later maybe, I was at the same party, and Sly was there, and my agent said, do you know Sly? And he turned around and said hi, and I said, of course, we work together. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, you were in Clue. He said, you remember that?
Then, while we're on the deep stuff for a minute, I've got a few photos here, because I'm quite interested in haircuts, Donald, and I'm sure you share this interest. There's a few of you going way back. There's one, I think they're on a monitor for the audience. There's one of you here, looks like you're a bit of a Beatle fan in those days. Do you remember? When was that taken, do you think?
I don't know when it was taken, but somebody should send it to my dentist.
There's another one here. This is kind of...
I like that photograph. Can they see that? The
You
audience?
like that one?
No, this one.
I think they can see. I think it's on a monitor. Let's hold it up so they can see that. This one here. You like this one?
But that was from a movie I did. Elliot Gould starred in it.
That was Little Murders, wasn't it?
Yeah, Little Murders.
And here's one of you, it's more like a kind of a hairnet or something. What's that?
No, that's not a hairnet. That's a tank commander's hat.
Was it Kelly's Heroes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. With Clint
But,
Eastwood.
but curiously enough, I'd had spinal meningitis just before that. And every time I did a scene in that, I cried.
What, because of the hat, was that?
Really interesting. It's one of those fascinating little anecdotes you can pass around. It has to do with working with the director. My brain was so fried from the spinal meningitis, which I had when we started the film, and I was 6 weeks in the hospital, and then they spun me out just in time to go back to work. And my head was so tense that every time I finished a scene, Brian would say, it's terrific. I'd say, it's not very good. And go. I'd be gone. I
think I feel like that right now, actually. Now here's a really kind of loose, quite fetching perm, in fact, which I think was Don't Look Now, was that?
Don't Look Now. The amazing thing about that was done by a guy named Ziggy.
Ziggy the permist?
It's a wig.
It's a wig?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you've shattered all my childhood illusions now. I never, the love scene in that, and you were wearing a wig in the love scene?
But in the shower.
I've got short hair. So. In the shower as well?
Yeah.
That's good.
That's Homer Simpson.
Here's a short one in, short haircut you had for Day of the Locust.
But that was right after Casanova, and all of this, well, they can't see it.
Well,
all of this part had been shaved off, and so that little front part was a wig, was glued on.
You had a lot of wigs, haven't you? Here's Casanova, where you had the very high forehead, very kind of noble forehead there. That was nice. And finally, is the back to the perm. Back to the perm. So, but you're playing the world's greatest lover there. Were you surprised to be chosen for that part? I mean, I don't mean that. I don't mean you shouldn't be. Not casting aspersions here, but I just wondered.
It's the offensive show. The curious thing about Casanova is every time he fell in love, and
every time he had an affair with someone, it wasn't just the sex.
Well, no, every time he had an affair, he fell in love, and he not only was extraordinarily well endowed physically.
In case you're wondering,
no, but I mean he had a
big plonker.
What it's called.
The phrase we're groping for here.
Yes.
Maybe he
but immense staying time. But he had a wonderful sense of delicacy and poetry, and he loved the person that he was involved with. But after this film, I mean, everybody said I looked really ugly in it.
No, I think
Thank you very much. No, when I went after we finished filming in London together, he and I went to Scotland to do The Eye of the Needle, and I came off the plane. It's mostly a problem with short focal length lenses, but I came off the plane. And as I was coming off the tarmac in Glasgow, a young girl came up and said, "Aren't you Donald Sutherland?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "You're not near as ugly as you are in the color." But I have to have this whole part shaved off next month. Yeah, this whole
You're having it done again? Yeah. I think if I had it shaved off, I'd be scared that it wouldn't grow back. Are you worried about that at all?
At my age, it doesn't make a lot of difference.
Very modest. Now, we were talking earlier about, I know you named one of your sons after Nick Rowe, but also another one of your sons, Kiefer, starred in the film, I think it was last year or the year before, The Bay Boy, which I saw. Did you encourage your children to act at all, or in Kiefer in particular?
No, not really, but he's a wonderful actor. Yeah. He's named after the director of the first film that I did, Warren Kiefer, who directed a film called The Castle of the Living Dead.
I think I've seen it. Yeah, I think I've
It was the only horror film designated for children.
It wasn't scary?
No, it wasn't. But he's a wonderful actor, and he just did a film called Stand By Me in the United States. It's very successful.
And I know, I mean, Kiefer looks an awful lot like you, I think, or how I imagine you would have looked at that age. Did you look like that, do you think? Were you as attractive?
I was about 6 inches taller.
So you were this height at 6'4" then. It wasn't a joke at the beginning. So were you worried?
No, it didn't happen when I was 30. No. It happened when I was about 14.
You were just naturally tall, or you shot up suddenly?
No, I had rheumatic fever, and I was stuck in bed for a year. I was very sick.
Yeah, it's not funny. It really isn't funny.
I had rheumatic fever, double pneumonia, spinal meningitis, infantile paralysis, the lot.
And now to cap it all, you've been asked to appear on this show. Life isn't fair, is it? Well, that's all we have time for, unfortunately. Thank you very much indeed, Donald Sutherland.
I'm Donald.
Thank you.